Ladies and gentlemen, Shakin Stevens. Welcome to the Glasgow Garden Festival and to Garden Party. Did I spot somebody famous, well, their wife in that video?
Yes, it was. It was Adamant's wife.
Yeah?
The one with the blue dress.
Yeah. It was a great video. It must be difficult to come up with different ideas all the time, does it not, for your videos?
Very difficult, yes. Very difficult. So, as a performer, I've got the ability to put a song over, so I mainly keep to a performance video.
Yeah, because you don't spend vast amounts of money on scenery in that, did you? It was just
no, that's right. I mean, people do spend, I don't know whether they do now, or they still do, but they used to spend a colossal amount of money on videos, but there's a limit, you know, and I think you must be sensible about it.
Mm. Now, you've taken this song, Feel the Need in Me, which the Detroit Emeralds re-release every year almost. Surely there can't be a whole generation already who have never heard this song.
Well, if you listen to the Detroit Emeralds version, you listen to the version I've done, it's totally different. If you play them back to back, they're two different versions altogether. So in a way, it's a different version, and it becomes a new song. I think for the people that's got the original version, they would say, "Oh, I don't like that. I prefer what I've got." But I'm not didn't release the record for those people. I released it for the people to them it's a new song and listening to it for the first time. Mm. Covers, for instance, like we'll take a perfect example of Elvis Presley's "Don't Be Cruel," great song, but it was covered by Billy Swan, and he did a totally different version of it altogether, which. Being a fan as well, you know, I like the two versions, and so did Elvis. I think Elvis sent Billy Swan a pair of his old socks, but I don't want a pair of old socks from the Detroit Emeralds.
I make it now, what, about 4 cover versions in a row that you have released. Are you running out of inspiration in your own songwriting talent?
Well, there's loads of covers out there, but at the same time, before we leave the cover conversation, there's lots of the covers out there. As I said, there's lots of new generations out there. I mean, for instance, like the G-Nads, you know, with the Stand By Me and so forth. So to them, they're new songs. Mm. And why bury them, you know, because you can't keep a good song down. So the originals actually become hits. And if you cover, yes, I did What Are You On the Other Side of Me For. But there again, if you play the Emily Ford version to mine is totally different. Mm-hmm. I never cover exactly because there's no point.
Tell me, sorry to interrupt,
but covers, you know, if it's good, and then why not? Because they're hearing them for the first time. Like I heard This Old House for the first time. I didn't hear that when I was it was my era of when This Old House first came out. I mean, I wouldn't remember it. I was about 4, I think. So, you know, for it to be released, when I released it, 80, it was a new song for me, and it's a new song for people out there. My songwriting, I'm still continuing to do.
Good.
And I would think, after you said 4 covers, I would think it's time for me to do some new material, which I've got that in hand.
Just finally and very briefly, tell me why there is a space for Shakin Stevens in today's pop market, which seems to be geared towards kind of Wet, 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 Bros, the very, very young bands singing new material. Why is there still space for people like yourself?
Well, why is there a space for people like, I don't know. I mean, there's only a few that actually keep going, and there's lots of groups that only around for a 2-year span, and they're gone, alias with the due respect to, as we mentioned, his wife, Adamant. He's no longer with us. And there's only a few really that keep going. People like Rod Stewart, Elton John, Cliff Richard is a perfect example. I'm one of them as well.
Well, we hope that you do go on
forever.
Hopefully,
I think basically, oh well, I can't answer the question, but I think...
We've run out of time, unfortunately.
Okay.
Let me interrupt you just once.
Maybe next time I can answer
We will continue
that.
this later in this series. For the moment, thank you. Shakin Stevens.
Thank you.